What's up? This is Dr. Aubrey and this is Wellness Workshop, and today we're going to be talking about diabetes. Why? Because it's really prevalent and at epidemic proportions here in the US and across the world. So first I want to go over the definition of what diabetes is. Usually a lifelong disease in which there are high levels of blood sugar in the blood. That is diabetes mellitus. There's type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is usually childhood onset. It's where your body does not produce insulin, and insulin is what takes the sugar out of your blood after you eat food and puts it into your muscles as glycogen, which you then use for energy. Type 2 diabetes is usually adult onset and is which in the body produces insulin, but your insulin receptors are losing sensitivity to it. So even though your body's producing insulin, your body's still not reacting to it and taking that sugar out of the blood, which leads to high levels of blood sugar. So a few numbers. So in the US, we have 25.8 million people with diabetes. That's roughly 8.3% of our American population. Almost about 1 in 10. We'll maybe call it 1 in 15. That's a lot. That means, think of high school in a class of 30. That means 2 people. 2 people with diabetes for every class you were in. That's pretty crazy. So, also the Center for Disease Control just released a statistic saying that 63%, let me do this, 63% of the American population is in the danger zone for diabetes. 63%, that's ridiculous. This is ridiculous right here. Why? Because type 1 diabetes, okay, you're born with it, there's not much you can do. Type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease. What does that mean? It's caused by the way you live, and therefore it can be prevented. That's why I get so passionate about diabetes. That's why when I used to see it in the clinic, see it when I was working with my patients, it would be like, why did you let it get to this part? It's like driving your car down the street until your car literally just starts rolling on the bumpers. You say, forget it, I'm not going to get my tires checked, I don't care, I'm going to get from here to Texas on these old tires. You're not going to do it, and it could have been prevented, and it just leads down the wrong route for no reason. So that's what we're here as health coaches for. So, I want to talk about a few things first. Now, what exactly does diabetes do to the body? So, diabetes, first of all, what it leads is to irregular levels of sugar in the blood. So, when you have that and your body's blood sugar isn't regulated, that starts causing problems at a cellular level. Because that also leads to decreased circulation. Why do you think that could be? Because if your body's blood sugar levels are all over the place, your body isn't operating at the highest level of energy. That's because it's not getting all the sugar it needs, which just not sugar. Equate blood sugar to the energy we have in our body, because our body operates on what's called glycogen in the muscles. It's sugar stores in the muscles, but it just really is energy stores. So if our body isn't getting the energy it requires, our cells aren't getting the energy they require. So that means they're not operating correctly or at the optimum level, which means they're not multiplying well. They're not decaying and dying and then growing new well. So our circulation is literally called, the cell walls get glycosylated, or they get sugar packed in them because sugar isn't moving out of the blood fast enough. So that leads to damaged cells, which leads to damaged circulation, which leads to, if you have decreased circulation to your blood, in your arms, in your legs, in your eyes, in your brain, what do you think happens? What are some of the complications of diabetes? Okay, let me go over the list because I wrote down a list of them. You've got diabetic retinopathy. What does that mean? Decreased circulation to the little arteries in your eyes, which means, guess what? You go blind. You can't see. Literally, you lose your vision because you're drinking too much sugar. Kidney disease. Your body can't filter out the sugar that's all in there, and your blood keeps getting high in sugar. Your kidneys start getting very damaged, and when you can't filter your blood well, or filter out, blood is the liver, but when you can't filter out the water well, your water levels in your body start getting off, and if the water levels in your body levels start getting off, we're about 67% water, that's not good for you. Next, heart disease and stroke. Why do you think that is? So just like the eyes, the heart has its own circulation. So does the brain. So when the circulation isn't as good in the heart, you start getting heart disease, which means your whole circulation isn't good. And then what happens in the brain? You start getting also linked to mental decline. Why do you think that is? The brain is just like anything else. If it doesn't get enough blood, it's not strong enough, which means your body isn't operating well enough. And the key is about mental issues is that you can't always see it. It's not like a scab you can see, or when you see the muscle get smaller, you can't see that they can't remember as well, that they can't process as quickly. Literally linked to mental decline like Alzheimer's. But we don't make that equation when we eat that white bread. So, all good things to really keep in mind. Now, type 1 diabetes, controlled with medications like insulin. Insulin taken either orally or through a shot to regulate blood sugar levels. Type 2 diabetes is decreased sensitivity to insulin. So what do? The medications are either used to increase the sensitivity to insulin in the receptors, or it can be managed by exercising and proper diet. Why do you think that is? So, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Your blood sugar levels here, you want to keep it in between about 70 and 110, 100 being the optimal. That's pretty much where you want to keep it. So, excuse me. When you wake up in the morning, anytime you go more than 3 hours, like we said, without ingesting food, you go into starvation mode, or anabolic, or catabolic, like we talked about with muscle gain, but it's still the same with your blood sugar ranges, because your body can only operate optimally in the optimal blood sugar ranges. It's like your car can only operate optimally when it has gas in the car. If your car goes to no gas, your car stops. You don't want your body to stop. So, when your blood sugar goes too high, what starts happening? You go into what's called hyperglycemia, meaning your body literally has too much sugar in it. So some symptoms of this are sweating, also frequent urination. You can go into hyperglycemic. Your body starts jittering because your body's literally trying to get rid of all this sugar that you have in it. Not good. When you go down too low, you can go to hypoglycemia. Hyper means too much, hypo means not enough. You can literally go into shock when you go into hypoglycemia, because your body is literally running out of sugar to run on, or fuel to run on. It's like running out of gas on the side of the freeway, but you don't want to do that, because when you run out of gas on the side of life, you could die. So definitely not good. A lot of diabetics keep very high sugar containing foods in them, like I know cake frosting or orange juice, which gets into the bloodstream very quickly. You don't want to be in any of these for too long, because the longer you're in any of these, the more damage long term it is to your body. So you never want to go in those. So with that being said, what can we do to help diabetics? And what are some things that we can do to be, really proactive about diabetes? So, first of all, let's look at exercising. Why might exercising help diabetes? So, exercising, I got a few facts, improves body's use of insulin. So, it actually improves your body's use of insulin. So, type 2 diabetics, which they're not using the insulin well because the receptors are injured, this will be great for them. Also, when you work out, you do it the right way, and you eat right, you should decrease your body fat. So decreased body fat leads to increased sensitivity of insulin. So, another good thing, especially for type 2 diabetics. Then, what does working out also do? Increases circulation. Why might that be good? Because remember, diabetes is decreased circulation because the cells are getting injured, and your little arteries in your feet and your eyes and your heart are getting not as much blood as they should. Increased circulation is also really what you want, because blood is actually, it's called lifeblood for a reason. You can't live without blood. And anything that isn't getting a lot of blood, isn't getting a lot of oxygen, isn't very healthy. So definitely good for that. And also exercising actually reduces blood sugar levels. Why do you think that is? I'm talking about, say you start at 150, when you're working out you could drop to 110. Why do you think that is? Because you're using the sugar to do the movement. So it's all good for those things. So definitely activity, good for diabetics. Definitely. Some things you want to remember with activity. Keeping a close eye on the blood sugar. So, what does that mean? Definitely make sure they have a method of checking their blood sugar before, during, and after the workout, and seeing how their blood sugar levels tolerate the workout. Meaning, did they drop really fast when they were working out? Did they maybe need to eat a little bit before, or maybe eat right after? Always have that. They should always have a snack on the sideline. But just seeing how their body tolerates 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, different levels, running versus sprinting versus weight training. Just see how their body reacts to that. Always good things. So, now that we know about that, why would we as health coaches be able to help somebody with diabetes? Now, let me give you a little background on this. So, as a physical therapist, I worked with a lot of seniors because I was in a lot of senior homes. So let me tell you a few of the things I saw. I saw literally people that didn't heal as well because of diabetes. I saw people that, their energy would drop, but also I could tell, and you can never directly link this, but their minds weren't as strong. And when I found out that diabetes was linked to mental decline because of the spikes in blood sugar, so let me break this down to you. When you eat white bread versus brown bread, this is what I always tell people. And then the biggest thing is that America, or I'm going to say a lot of people just don't link the small things with the big things, but they're so linked. So, simple carb versus complex carb. So what is a simple carb? White rice, white bread. Why? Because it doesn't have the fiber in it and the full grain of it to slow down your body's absorption of the sugar into your bloodstream. So what does this do? Spikes your blood sugar, spikes your blood sugar, spikes your blood sugar every time you have that white rice, that white bread. What does complex carb do? Wheat bread, sweet potatoes, brown rice, has the full grain in it, so it's not as fast of a spike in blood sugar levels, or what's called a lower glycemic index. So if you keep spiking your blood sugar, you're damaging your blood sugar level systems that help regulate that. It's like, the working out and you're doing nothing but 500-pound bench presses every 5 minutes. You're going to eventually tear your rotator cuff. You're just doing too much and your body's not meant for that. Rather than doing some good workouts every day or so, letting your body build up, instead of just going from 0 to 120 and down and 0, you're just hurting yourself. And this has been linked to diabetes. So when I saw that, and then I saw people not able to remember their children's name, not able to remember what they did for a living, it hurt me in a way I can't really describe, because I couldn't understand how people would eat that bread, white bread, but not knowing that could lead to them not remembering their own son's name. And I saw that it was my job to show them that, I didn't eat complex carb just because it made me look great, feel great, perform great. I ate complex carb because this meant I could live my life to the fullest, and I didn't want to see anybody not live this life. When you're 90 and you're 80 and you're 70 and you're 60 and you've been doing this since you were 10 and 15 and 20, it's too late. Your body is torn up. So what I saw in health coaching was a way to give them that benefit that me being in the clinic with them one time or 1 hour 3 times a week wasn't going to get. But if I could have got them when they were 20 and showed them that wheat bread is way better than that white rice and that white bread, that it could have changed their whole life, and that eventually one day those 20-year-olds will become those 80-year-olds and live a completely different life, because what I can do on the back end is nothing like I can do before. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and I always believed that, and that's why I got into this. That's why I gave everything for this, because I knew that I couldn't, basically I wasn't doing nothing. To keep it so transparent, I was doing nothing in the clinic. And that hurts me to say, because I went to school so long, but I had to be honest, that wasn't going to change any part of this person's life, because I couldn't go back and change their nutrition. I couldn't change their body. Their body needed change, not their standing tolerance, not their ability to walk with a walker. I needed to find a way to get it so they never had to touch a walker. So they never had to know what it was like to hurt when they got out of bed. To not know what it was like to say, I can't stand up on my own because literally my legs won't work anymore. Why? Because they have no circulation, they have no strength. Their bone density is terrible. Your circulation, your arteries is shot. You have no energy because your metabolism is gone, because your lean body mass, your muscles, which determine your metabolism, are nil and none. You're soft, so you nap all day. Why? What was I doing? I had to get to the root of it. The root of it is nutrition. The root of it is nutrition. So that's why I saw health coach. I said, I got to find a way. I got to find a way, and this is the way. So what does this do? What do I live and die by? This is called Healthy Meal, Formula 1. Why is this so important, huh? Why did I go against my job and almost get fired? Why did I have my dad call me crazy? Why? What could this do for somebody with diabetes? Let me break a few things down. Taking 2 scoops of this into water takes about 15 seconds. So what I hear a lot of people say, I'm working on them in the morning, they don't have any energy, they're crying, they don't really want to be there. I'm like, what'd you have for breakfast this morning? Coffee and a donut. Do you look like you're made out of coffee and donuts? Does this look like it's made out of coffee and donuts? No, it's made out of, lean body mass is made out of protein. Good nutrition. So I'm wasting my time working with them. Why? Because when they wake up after sleeping 6 to 8 hours, their blood sugars are down. They're in starvation mode because you break fast with breakfast. And their body is literally eating their own muscles because it has nothing coming in. So, what does it do for people? It makes them have an option quickly, fastly, taste good, so we can get their blood sugars as soon as they wake up in an optimum level. You don't want it to stay down here all day. You want to keep it up and keep it good in that 70 to 110 range. So what does this do? Quick, fast, taste good. But it only has, on average, 9 to 12 grams, 9 to 12 grams of sugar. Some of them even have 6. And what it has is fructose, which is a fruit-based form of sugar, which makes it taste good. Nobody's going to drink it if it doesn't taste good. We know that. But what happens is when you have fruit-based sugar, it's metabolized in the liver first, which slows its absorption down into the bloodstream so you don't have those spikes. And Herbalife uses a lot of beet-based sugar rather than high fructose corn syrup. So what does that mean? I did a little research. So I want you guys to think about all the people that say Herbalife isn't good, or you know, those nutrition drinks aren't good, and ask how many of them have had a Coca-Cola before. Because I did research on a 12-ounce Coca-Cola. So that Formula 1 has 9 grams of sugar in it. A 12-ounce Coca-Cola has 39 grams of sugar in it. 39. 39 versus 9. And then how many vitamins and minerals do you think that Coca-Cola has? None. None. Not a damn nothing. 9 grams of sugar with 2,500 calories worth of nutrition in it. Then you've also got that 39 grams of sugar is equal to 22 packets of sugar. Say you're sitting at the dinner table, you know there's sugar in the iced tea. 22 packets of sugar in one Coca-Cola. Now, I'm pretty sure you can tell that'll mess your body up. So that's just not good. That's not good. And when stuff like that starts happening, you know, when people think it's all right to have Coca-Cola, that's when you start getting a lot of issues, because people don't think it's all right to have a nutritional drink, but they think it's all right to have 3 or 4 Coca-Colas a day. Go back and ask your grandma, your aunt, your coworker how many Cokes they have a day, how many Mountain Dews they have a day. So the healthy ranges for sugar for males released by the American Heart Association is 39 grams a day. A day, not a drink. So the 9 grams in our Formula 1 is perfect. For women it's 20, and for kids it's 12. So if you got a kid drinking a Coca-Cola, he's over 3 times over his amount of sugar he should have every day. So you already know that's not how we're getting down. Literally, when I see people drinking soda, I get mad. Why? No, not because they're not drinking Herbalife, because they will one day, but because they're literally killing themselves. And then I got to see it when they're hurting. I got to see not only them hurting, because let me show you some of the things. You know, when diabetes people literally lose their vision, they can't see. They lose their limbs. People get their legs, feet, everything amputated. Why do you think that is? Because when you can't have circulation to your foot will die. And if your foot dies, if you don't cut it off, the rest of your leg will die, then your body will die. It'll just go up the kinetic chain or up your body until it stops. So literally, I've seen people with no legs. Why? Because their body literally wouldn't circulate down there. So that's what I see when I see the Coca-Cola. That's what I see when I see the white rice and white bread. I don't see the burger. I see what it does to you and then what it does to your family. Because what people don't realize is that it's not just your health. When I was talking to my dad about his health, I wasn't like, yeah, I want you to be healthy, but now you got to start thinking about the family, because when you go to the hospital, we got to go to the hospital. And I don't want to go to the hospital. Neither do I want my sister in the hospital, my little brother's in the hospital. I don't want that. You got to stop thinking about yourself. Start thinking about how your health affects other people. That's how I want you to start thinking about people's health. So, how can we help them as health coaches? I just said you start them off with a good healthy drink in the morning, get their blood sugars in a good range, and then what do? What do we always practice? Snacking every 3 hours. Why? Remember that blood sugar range. So right when it's about to dip, we come in with what? A protein-based snack. Now, why do you think a protein-based snack? What is protein going to do? Decrease hunger. Normalize blood sugar ranges. If you snack on an apple, or no, let me not say apple. If you snack on just some bread, some white bread, or some chips, or, you know, a donut, like a lot of people snack on, what does that do? You start here, you snack, spike. Why? Because all that blood sugar hits your blood, your system, it gets absorbed, and then it goes down and you crash because it takes it out rapidly. So you're just spiking and crashing all day. That's what that sugar rush comes from, and then you crash after. This isn't what you want. You want nice, going down, protein snack every 3 hours, going down, protein snack. That's why we always encourage the mid-morning, the mid-afternoon protein snack. White, you know, egg whites, not fat Greek yogurt, almonds, protein bars, something protein-based instead of carbohydrate-based, keeping the blood sugar in normal ranges, which could be a shake, which can be, you know, all those snacks I just mentioned, and then you come to the lunch, so you have morning, mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon, dinner, and then a snack later in the night, still protein-based, which, what does that do? It's all about maintaining normal blood sugar ranges. And done with protein snacks, foods with good fiber like the shakes and the vegetables we always encourage. Fiber will also slow the absorption of the sugar down. And then some other things that are good for that. Snack defense. We always recommend snack defense for diabetics because it helps regulate sugar in the good ranges. All the shakes are good for it. And then the biggest thing you want to keep away from is long times with no food and simple carbs like white rice, white bread. So, with all that being said, I hope that really helped. And you know, diabetics, the biggest thing is I know we can help is that it's going to take a nutrition, because diabetes is caused by nutrition. So it's going to take a nutrition-based approach to really help affect and impact that demographic. Because, you know, there shouldn't be one person that suffers from that. There shouldn't even be one person that has to get any kind of leg cut off. You can't see. There shouldn't be one person. That's why I get so fired up about it. That's why I know as health coaches we're going to change the world. Because we're going to affect this. I want you to think about something. I just went over probably more nutrition knowledge than you got in all of high school and college. Because guess what? That was more than I got in all of high school, college, middle school, elementary. Why? Because they taught me more about how to figure out the angles of a triangle in algebra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and calculus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and geometry than they taught me about what to put in my body to fuel my body right. Think about that. Think about that. Why? Why is it all right to have Coca-Cola vending machines at every school and you know, all kind of crap in the cafeteria? And why is that all right? It's not all right. We're going to change that. But I'm telling y'all, health coaching will change the world, and it's because of that knowledge. And know that you have all the tools to help anybody with diabetes, any kind of nutrition-based needs. You can help them no matter what. Giving them these tools and incorporating these incredible products. Why? Because the incredible products are effective. They work. Second of all, they taste darn good, so everybody wants them. If you eat a lot of sugars, you obviously have a craving for sugar. The shakes taste good, but guess what? You also have a craving for nutrients, which your body also equates with calories, because your body doesn't know it's in starvation mode. It says just eat, eat, eat. Your body needs nutrients, not just calories. When you feed it the nutrients it needs, I get people that hit me up after their shake all the time. I'm not hungry anymore. Guess why? Your body got all the nutrients. Oh, I don't have that sugar craving anymore. Yeah, guess why? You got all your vitamins A, B, C, D, E. Everything you need. Your body's saying, I'm cool. Instead of your body saying, you're not giving me these nutrients. You're drinking 12-ounce Coca-Colas drinks with, 39 grams of sugar, but there's no vitamins in here. Give me more. Give me more. You mistake that for calories, 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 and then you get bigger. Then we have an obesity epidemic. So, no, you will change the world. You can help anybody with diabetes. I don't want to see anybody with these problems anymore because they're preventable. And I get mad at them. You get mad at them. You got a family member, a coworker, a friend that has an issue and they say, no, you better get mad at them. Get this mad. I'm sweating in my living room right now because I don't want to see them go through it, because then when they go through it, you got to go through it. I don't want to see nobody go through it. Alright? Have a good one. I know I got kind of serious, but it gets me fired up. We're going to change the world. Wellness workshop in effect. Educating the health coaches that will change the world. Love y'all. Team Oak 24 in the building. Have a good one.